Thank you and welcome to the show this morning. The topic this morning is domestic violence and the African American male. And we have to talk about domestic violence and the African American male, Gregory Taylor, who has been with us on a number of occasions, and now he would like to give us some information relative to domestic violence and the impact that it has upon African American males. And let me welcome you to the show this morning, Gregory Taylor, and tell you how delighted we are to have you here. I think our audience will remember you from some of the earlier shows in which you talked about a number of things. But today what we'd like to do is to deal with domestic violence and the impact of domestic violence on the African American male. But before we get into talking about the impact that domestic violence has upon African American males, let's have you to give us some information about your background, your education, and some of your experiences. And then after this 6-minute segment is over, we'll have our commercial break, and then we'll come back and start dealing with this topic, impact of domestic violence on African American males. Let's see if we can do it from that perspective.
Thank you. Dr. Haney, I am a native of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I went to school at Selma University, and I went to graduate school at Virginia Union, and I have a doctorate degree in research from the Future America Research Institute. And in the area of what I call a spillover from domestic violence is in the classroom. It has been said that some African American teachers are known to ridicule, emasculate, use duress on their young male students. And this can discourage them when it comes to learning. And I see these things as a connection, as somewhat of a spillover from domestic violence. And also myself personally, I quit kindergarten. My mother allowed me to quit because I was afraid of the teacher's voice. I remember in the first grade I was emasculated by a little girl in the first grade class, and I didn't know what those things were which I had experienced. So I have a background where from 1961 to 1996, I worked my way through the side effects from verbal abuse, which is an extension of domestic violence. And today, from what I'm witnessing, a lot of men are not able to explain the imprint that the female voice has left in their memory. And this is an area where I believe if they can learn to explain those, it would do away with the violence.
And so you're saying that domestic violence has a tremendous impact upon the African American male, but not the usual kind of impact that we would think. That you're talking about some kind of psychological thing that it does to him in reference to his psychic and et cetera. Is that your point of view?
Exactly. I will use the word imprint in prenatal life, which I do a lot of research in, how the unborn child is imprinted by the environment, and the reaction to it is hidden in the child. And in this area of imprint, some people would say freeze the mind. I went through that, and my best explanations are my own life experience from 1961 to 1996. But it was a woman, female, that verbally abused me, but it was also a female in the end that helped me work my way through it. So it is it's very, very special there for me in that area. And also, not to be one-sided here, I can recall being the youngest son of the 4 girls, my mother had me in order to help my father get over the son that he lost. This made me very sensitive to women.
You were aware of that?
Yes, yes, she made me aware of that. And so this helped me to be sensitive to women concerns today. And all of these things, I believe, go into the domestic violence today. The recent vote down of equal pay for women. I think these things can be expressed, taken out other ways when they are not responded to as the way I think that they should. And my mother said that she had me to help my father get over the son that he lost. And so hearing both sides of the story, I sided with her. And I know today that when a woman becomes a mother, she doesn't have time to rest, and she doesn't have time for herself. And I wanted this to be an opportunity for me to try to share both sides from the perspective of the woman as well as the perspective from the man, in order to better the communication for all men, whether African American, European American, Caucasian, just whatever, you know.
In other words, well, what we're saying as we wind down this this first segment, Taylor, is that the impact of domestic violence is not only on the female, but it has a tremendous impact upon the male that many of us fail to recognize, and so because of that, that's why you're here today. Is that what we're saying? And so let's take this first commercial break, and we'll be back with our audience following this very, very short commercial break.